Now, when people, at least for me, or when I think of Porsche, I think usually of the 911 Turbo, 911 GT3 RS, but oftentimes I forget about or overlook the model we have sitting right here, which is a really strong contender, a really awesome option when it comes to the top of the top for Porsche. This is nonetheless but the Spyder RS, the 2025, and we're gonna take a look at it. It's got the YSAC package on it. It's pretty much as good as you can get one. So let's take a look. I'm Peter from Faraz. We're gonna dive into this car. And like I was saying, this is the 2025 Porsche 718 Spyder RS. This thing is brand new. It's got 546 kilometers on it, so it's literally as new as it gets. We're trying to take a look and see what roughly makes this different than what we just reviewed were the GT3 RSs. Again, we have one that's pretty much exact same color, brand new car. But as we all know, or maybe you don't know, that the GT3 RS is built on the 911 chassis, where this is built on the Cayman chassis, the 718, the Boxster, similar. So again, this one is the YSAC package, which gives it the very distinctively clear, the carbon hood, carbon mirrors, boatload of carbon fiber everywhere, and it being a Spyder, of course, is convertible. We'll take a look at the convertible roof on this thing in a little bit, because I think, to me, that's probably the biggest pain in the ass that you could have for a convertible vehicle. Let's start off with the front end. What makes it different? Man, look at the headlights. They're gorgeous nonetheless. Beautiful how intricate these things are, but a totally different shape headlight than the others. Yeah, they got the smooth contoured kind of shape to it, but it's not that oval light signature of the 911 that you can just very distinctively see. Because if you're driving with this thing directly behind you, you could almost be fooled for a little bit to say, oh man, maybe there's a 911 GT3 RS or 911 Turbo or something along the lines of that. But clearly this car, when you look up and pick out all the different subtleties of it, it is quite different after you take a closer look. The front bumper, to say, still super well thought out. Look at all these venting here. There's the intakes, or these are the radiators right behind there. Amazing. This got the big intake right here as well for more cooling, more aero. Of course, the hood vents on the carbon fiber hood are cool. Same type of deal where the front emblem is only a sticker, is not an emblem. Again, for weight reduction purposes, for sure. All right, let's pop up the hood and take a look underneath here. I love the fully rough carbon fiber, very similar to the other two GT3 RSs we looked at, but the trunk, or I guess the frunk, or whatever you want to call it, this is very much more remnant of the 991, the older version of the GT3 RS, which has a fully usable storage compartment here, versus the newer versions of the GT3 RS have the fans underneath here with the vents that go in there. So yeah, you cannot utilize the front at all in the other one, versus this one you can. So again, you got some functionality as well as some room in the back as well. So you got storage space on both ends. I do really love, this is just super raw carbon here, which is cool. Versus it's not even like slightly matted, it's just completely raw, which is really neat. So again, this hood is super light, just like the others. Part of the YSAC edition, or YSAC package with this full carbon fiber hood is really a nice touch, so beautiful. It's almost like you want to say like a mini version, or even though it's not the same chassis as the 911, still kind of has the look to it, where the 2025 and the 2024, the newer stuff, has all these really neat different venting and aerodynamics on the sides of it, like this kind of plasticky looking stuff here. I mean, I don't know if it looks as polished as having just purely nicely painted finish. You're adding these on almost kind of look a little bit different. They give it a different look. Now, on this specific build, to me, I don't fancy the color of these wheels. I think the style and these being the forged aluminum, super light wheel, beautiful design, but I can't stand the satin indigo blue. Maybe because it's I guess the Arctic gray almost appears a little bit bluish in some lights, but not for me personally. I would have gone with like the GT3 RS, the aluminum silver wheel that we had on the 2024 that we were reviewing. Carbon ceramic brakes on these are really big, really nice, and the yellow brake calipers are pretty cool. It's very staple to the carbon ceramic look, or whatever have you. Again, fully customizable by Porsche, which is really cool. That's, I think, what the neatest part is. When you hop onto their configurer, or you're going to build one to buy, there's so many different things you can change about them, which is neat. Like just down to the most subtle things. You're going to pay for it, but it's still really cool. But you got the hood, the venting on the fenders, just like on the GT3 RSs. Now, one of the coolest features I love about these aero, how the aero works on this, as well as the GT3 RS. Granted, the GT3 RS has much bigger rear shoulders, so that's the huge difference between the two different chassis on them. But there's all the venting, how it all ties in. So air shooting in from the fender vents, and then the fender vents passing air directly back here into the engine intake, which is so cool. So it comes in through there. On this vehicle, again, more venting here to cool the engine down as well. versus over on the back. We'll just walk back here and take a look. Flowing right through here. That's just guided right directly there to the venting for the intake right there, which is really cool. So really, really neat designs from Porsche that are just super functional and hella cool. Not as big of wheels on as the rears on the 911s, even though the same motor, slightly different horsepower numbers on this car. But yeah, you got a slightly narrower wheel. The other ones had 335s in the rears, these are 295s, but a 20-inch rear tire versus the 21. So again, these aren't 20 to 21 difference like the 911s were, but these are all 20-inch all around. But again, beautiful nonetheless. That's not the blue. Now the 718, this car being, I guess, like the Boxer platform being the convertible versus the Cayman being a hardtop. Very different look, obviously, with convertible versus hardtop, but the rear of this car versus a 911, it gives it away for sure. Like I said earlier, when you're behind this car in the front at a quick glance, or if you're looking back at it, if it was behind you, you could almost mistake it for a 911. But when you see the rear of this car, it's just totally different than the others. Still really mean, really sleek. It would be kind of cool, I think, if they could get the LED to come right through here, but I love that has the kind of the 3D lettering. It actually pops out for the Porsche lettering here. And Spyder RS in the back, really sharp, you know, nice decals there. So the rear dual exhausts look really sharp on this car. This is kind of like a brushed aluminum, which is really, really nice. Goes well with the look of the car. That's why I think if it had the wheels finished in the same silver color, it would look really, really sharp. I've got the carbon fiber on the rear wing here, which is neat. This whole big, I guess you can call it the trunk hood thing type deal. We'll pop that and show you exactly what it looks like underneath. This is the thing I would be kind of worried about if it's, you know, you're getting into the rain quickly. It's not exactly the thing that you want to throw up as quick as you can, or if there's big wind going around. It's still relatively strong feeling, but you just expect it to feel a little bit stronger. I'd be worried that it's going to get damaged. And if you got to get this damaged, then you're in some trouble. So anyway, you got a trunk there, which is really cool. Some decent space. You can throw you know, bags, whatever else in there. The roof, this is, again, the thing that I find is the most inconvenient about the car is right here. It's just this piece right here. There's no buttons, there's no nothing else to put it on. You just literally unfold it and it clips right into the roof, just as you would. There's a couple of different latches that kind of go underneath. It's more of a two-personer job. So if I had someone here that could help, I could show you. But see these little hinges right there, the little hooks go right into these little receiving ends there. And then the back just folds down as you go. One thing that's neat with the YSAC edition is you get the printing right into the fabric, which is really neat. It's like etched right in there, which is cool. If you were alone and it was raining, you can see how hard of a time I'm having just kind of fumbling this around. So I wouldn't really want to be in a pinch. I guess you just drive faster and go around the rain. It's probably easier than actually putting the roof on or just not worrying about it at all. It's definitely up to you, but that's what I find is interesting about how it sits in there, and you'd kind of expect that it'd be easier to put on if it's one person and it's raining and whatnot, but more or less you just really check the forecast before you go somewhere. So cool, we're gonna hop into the car and take a look. Again, similar to the 911 GT3 RSs that we both looked at, just a simple string to pull the handle open. Carbon bucket seats for the YSAC package, YSAC RS, which is really nice. It's got the beautiful YSAC stitching in the headrest, but also the cool track around that there, which is really sharp. One thing I dislike about this 992 version, it's brand new versus the 991, I guess previous generation, is that this one keeps the similar setup to the older version as far as the infotainment and the cluster goes and the navigating through your menu options here. And everything of the door panel, the interior looks very, very similar to when you're sitting in a GT3 RS from the 991 editions. That I wouldn't be able to notice much difference versus this car, other than lacking a roof. Biggest telltale on this one is the shifter to me. Very, very obviously different than the previous version because you had the, you know, the different, we showed you it in the GT3 RS, but anyway, it's very similar to the new shifter or the newer shifter in the 992s, which is nice. Press the button on the top, move through the gears, which is really neat. And then you got your, like I said before, the wand to move through your menu. Here, up and down is very simple to go through what you're looking for. Select is forward and back, which is really kind of cool. I still like this optioning. It just reminds me of the previous generations and generations after that and everything else. So very simple to navigate through. Like I said before, you still have touchscreen abilities, you know, your Bluetooth, audio, Sirius, satellite radio, all that kind of stuff. Apple CarPlay in the newer versions of these cars, which is a great feature that people love. This guy's got the Sport PDK and all the buttons down in the center as well. A post on the steering wheel for the newer versions where you can click through your drive modes right there versus having to go down, select through this area here. Those being the major differences, but I guess, I don't know if that's going to change as Porsche pushes into the next evolution of this car. I'm not really sure, as this being a 2025 is literally brand new. But again, beautiful Alcantara steering wheel, which is really, really sharp. Love all the details and the subtleties that you can see when you're looking around. All the stitching matches so beautifully. This kind of Alcantara where they've added the, the larger hole perforations versus the smaller on the outsides. It's just really sharp. Gorgeous red seat belts, which is nice. All of this stuff is fully customizable. And of course, Spyder RS right there. That's what the big difference is, meaning all the weight reduction with the carbon fiber stuff and all that kind of thing. So you still get your backup camera on these cars, which is great. So there you go. So it's still got some functionality. This one's got rear parking sensors, which makes it good too. You can order that without. Beautiful, clean, sleek interior. I love the brushed carbon fibers. So much, a matte finish, I guess you would say. Really, really nice, really sharp looking. And yeah, just a super clean driver's car. It feels very similar, very nice to the previous generation GT3 RS. Same motor, just different power output. So, all right, let's start it up and see, get a little sound bite of the exhaust. So it's pretty tame until you get the valves open. Yeah, it really gives it that extra growl that you're looking to hear, that feel. So, oh, they rev so fast. The naturally aspirated, man. Oh, wow, what a sound! It's gorgeous. Yeah, these things really, really turn heads. Now, I'd love to pop the hood or the trunk or whichever one you want to call it to show you the engine, but it's not in the front, it's not in the rear. This is a mid-engine mounted vehicle. Same 4-liter, flat 6, naturally aspirated as the other two that we were looking at, the GT3 RSs. Again, those have the engines right in the rear. So at least sometimes on the older versions, you can pop the hood or pop the engine cover and see the motor. Not that you could really do much with it, but it still gives you kind of like a cool visual because a lot of them come with the carbon fiber littered everywhere. It's beautiful. The same motor, slightly different horsepower, just under 500, high 400 horsepower. So not much difference in performance, but maybe you guys like the RS Spyder more, maybe you like the GT3 RS more. Maybe drop a comment and let me know anything if I missed on these cars, anything that you like that stands out. I appreciate it, and if you could like and subscribe to the videos, it would be really appreciated. Thanks, guys.